Tanya here from myslope.com, and I am going on vacation. And on vacation, I'm going to need a self-drafted bikini top. If you didn't see that drafting video, I have it linked below. But yeah, this is the sewing part. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to be sewing this bikini top here, and we're going to be working through a ton of construction techniques: fold over elastic, concealed seams or seamless, elastic straps, mesh inserts, waistbands using my faux binding method that looks just as polished as if you had an industrial binder. Join me for my pre-vacation stress sewing sesh.
All right, so we have all our pieces. So we have our main piece, and we have our back piece, we have our mesh, and we have our elastic strappies. So first thing we're gonna do, oh, these are our back pieces. Forgot about the back, our main and our lining, and once again, our strappies. But this time I'm laying them out a little nicer so you can really see them. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're going to lay right sides together. We're gonna sew that seam there. So we're gonna conceal, and we're gonna use our elastic foot. And then this is the tricky part, because we want to turn our pieces right side out, but we don't want to get confused as to the orientation of the pieces. So now we're going to do our mesh insert, and since it's a little cross top, there's a little bit of intricacy there. So I'm unfolding my pieces, and we're going right sides together, and I'm going to essentially be sandwiching that mesh in between the first piece. And then we're gonna sew that down, no elastic, but I like to use pins. So yeah, sew that seam. That's what it'll look like. No elastic, here we go. And we're gonna turn it right side out. And we're gonna do the same thing with our other piece. And it's gonna be a little bit tricky because you're going to have to overlap with the first piece and kind of sandwich everything in between. You can maybe notch to make this easier. When I was designing this, I was thinking design Tanya instead of engineer Tanya, so sewing this was not as fun as I wanted it to be, but it's doable and the result is beautiful. So pinning it up, tons of pins. And you see when I fold it right side out, we have the crisscrossy, that mesh is hidden in between. And yeah, so now one of the hardest parts done. Now we're gonna work on our straps. So we're gonna fold those over, sandwich, and then we're gonna add elastic. We're gonna turn our straps right side out. And I think I fling this one. Oh, no. Now we're gonna work on our back piece. So we are going to mark the 3 spots where we're going to attach our straps. We're going to just pin those on, and then we are going to sandwich right sides together our back pieces, and we're going to sew along that whole side seam. I do elastic here on that side seam, and we're just sandwiching those elastic straps down. We pull it right side out, and we see how everything is fitting. So now we're going to be doing the shoulder strap, the shoulders, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially take our back piece right sides together, and we're going to sandwich that front strap inside, and we're going to sew across. So trapping that shoulder seam inside, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other shoulder strap. So everything is essentially, it's sandwiched inside. So the front piece is sandwiched inside the back piece. And this is essentially a great way to sew any top. And because it's a crisscrossy, we have some additional challenges. Okay, we're also doing the side seam here too. So, yeah. We're sandwiching our side seam, so this part is easy. Yeah, this top is asymmetrical and it's a little crisscrossy, so we have to be a bit more unconventional with the sewing methods versus a straightforward construction with a regular top where you don't have crisscrossies and closed off seams. So that was the biggest challenge with this top, is how to finish everything in the garment. And not gonna lie, I got real confused trying to figure it out. I was staring at the top for like an hour trying to figure out how I can close everything in using a mixture of concealed seams and a fold over elastic. See, I pulled everything right side out before I sew everything down, and then we see how everything is concealed and makes sense. Yeah. Now I'm gonna just put it back right side out so that way we can sew down all those seams. So sew down our shoulder, sew down our side seam, and then after we're done that, we will work on our back strappies and attaching those to the side seam. Oh, beauty of magic, we're already sewed. I didn't film myself sewing, but you get the point. All right, so we're essentially gonna do the same thing. We're gonna sandwich. I'm trying to do this like slowly. So we're sandwiching our straps. Technically right sides together. So we see how I flip that front piece over. So I started pinning down my straps to the back piece, and then I flipped over the seam to sandwich everything in. And this is a very crucial time to make sure we don't twist our straps. And I ended up having to unpick this because one of the straps was twisted. And it sucked. Okay, so now we're gonna do fold over elastic to finish off the rest of these seams because we couldn't just do concealed seams all the way around, and I didn't want the look of, actually no, we couldn't do fold over elastic for the center front seams. So just attaching the elastic and all right, so we see that we have the fold over, we have the elastic attached on the wrong side. I forgot to mention that. And we're essentially going to just fold it over, and then we are going to cover stitch it down. So this is what it looks like after I cover stitched it. And you see that one edge. See, I was talking about finishing and conceal the seams all inside, but that one edge was the one left. So we're going to work on our waistband using my faux waistband method. And this involves using 2 strips of waistband straps. So I'm going to start by pinning the first loop on the outside of the garment and then pinning the second loop on the inside of the garment. We are going to sew that down with elastic. I'm using 1/4 inch elastic. Yes, so we see we're sewing that down. And then this is where the magic happens. We're going to fold over and conceal that elastic on the inside. So we're folding that over, and now the elastic is hidden. And then we're going to sew on the wrong side. We're going to sew elastic on that outer edge and basically finish it with fold over elastic. So the elastic's on the wrong edge, and you see now we're just going to fold that over, and what a clean finish. Like, oh my god. And with the way the math works out, you know, even though the elastic is split in 2, we're basically doing a 1/2 inch waistband, and it's finished super cleanly. You could do some really complicated things, and it's not that hard to do. So yeah, this is the final look. And it wasn't that hard to do. And this is what it looks like on the beach.
If you enjoyed this tutorial, give this video a like and subscribe. And if you want to try out this top yourself, you can watch the drafting tutorial and grab the bra pattern from myslope.com. Yes, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy sewing!